Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for DXY. Now I covered DXY because it has an inverse relationship with Bitcoin. If the dollar decreases in value, Bitcoin tends to go up. So it's very important for us to track that as well. I'm starting the count from the significant high, and I'll show you my primaries as well as some alternatives and the structures I expect them to make based on each. Well, first we have a 5-wave move down for our A wave, triangle in our 4th, completed 5th wave down there in our A wave. 4th was the longest wave, no surprise as it turned into a triangle itself. Off that we have potentially a triangle panning out, and we're expecting our B wave to complete sometime in the fall, and then our C wave decline, in which case we'd target the A wave off the B wave for our C wave. The 1-to-1 extension of that is at 91.48 if we reach target. Minimum requirement is the 618 at 96.125 to be considered complete. But we'll be tracking those waves as they pan out because we'd expect a 5-wave move. Now, a couple notes about triangles. C waves and triangles are usually the longer lasting right here, and they're usually the deepest. But that can also be the D wave as well. So I'm paying attention to how this pans out. One thing you'll note, I have these extensions on here, is for this D wave to reach a reasonable target here, just for the right look in a triangle, we need to extend to the 1.618 of the A wave. We're already at the 1-to-1. If we do get a little bit of retrace here, this might actually turn into a double zigzag, and our D wave just moves over a little bit in time. It just took a little more time. So keeping an eye on that. The other alternative is that the triangle is already complete. I don't love the shape of it, but it's also valid. This is my second primary, and that is we're coming down now. If that's the case, we should hold this E wave level, and we should start trending in an impulse or a diagonal right now. You can see the shape's a little bit off. That's why it's not my primary, but we'll see if we start breaking the B wave low here, as proposed here, then I would make this my primary. Now this can also, expecting 5 waves, but this can also be a series of 3s in a diagonal. Reason being, we got an impulse here, we can get a diagonal for our C wave. In that case, our target is 92.075. That's the extension of the A wave off the B wave at the 1-to-1. Again, minimum requirement is 97.21. And that's if we can count a clean 5-wave down. We have to track this pattern to get a high probability zone when the trend is complete. All right, an alternative here is the WXY. This is where we get an ABC for our W wave. This turns into a running flat for our, an expanded flat for our X wave. You can see we came between the 1.236 and the 382. That's our perfect zone of the extension of the W wave. In that case, we're looking for a 3-wave move here as an A, B, C. In this scenario, we'd have to fall very quickly, and this is why it's just an alternative. In that scenario, this would have to be some sort of diagonal. It's a very ugly count. We'd have our wave 2, and we get our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. We'd just collapse from here. Similar though, we'd be counting out 5 waves. So you can see the triangle in this one, very close, except one more wave in this scenario for this Y wave. And finally, we have our B wave in which we're in the middle of. That is the same. We have an A wave down in 5. We then have an A. We're in the middle of a B wave within our B wave. So we're looking for 5, 3, looking for 5 waves down here to the 1-to-1, where this A wave off this B wave equals 100%. That's at 99.838. And then we'd be looking for a partner leg for this A wave for our C wave. This is if targets were ideal. we'd hit 107,629. And at that point, we completed our larger B wave, and we'd be looking for an A, B, C. Again, to the 1-to-1, if ideal, is at 93,376. And minimum requirement for that would be the 618, but it would have to make a new low if that's too high. No, that would make a new low at 98,583. So you can see our different options there. I'll go over those real quick one more time. We have our triangle complete already, in which case we drop right now. We have our triangle working on a D wave, where we either get an extension in our C wave or a double zigzag that extends out in time. We have our WXY, where we drop right now, and our ABC, where we're in the middle of a B wave. So I'm going to be paying very close attention if we start to drop, what happens at this 1-to-1. Because if we get a micro 5-wave move up, it's potentially very important to be paying attention if you're trading Bitcoin. But we'll see what we get. Everything looks pretty good right now for the triangle complete or the triangle halfway through. And we'll go from there. Now, I also have a trend line I'm paying attention to. I just want to see the reactions when we hit this zone. This is on the larger time frames, as well as a 618 from the last wave up right here. Just paying attention to reactions there. I don't want to be not paying attention to the most obvious pivot zones, right? 618s. All right, guys, so that's it for DXY. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.